Grandma Edna is completely destroying the road to Unforgiven '01 here. She has broken up Edge and Christian. She has Kurt Angle stealing, Stone Cold Steve Austin stealing Kurt Angle's gold medals, and then having Angle abduct Stone Cold and throw him into a kiddie pool. I cannot believe how Grandma Edna is completely just running havoc over the buildup for this pay per view. But anyway, Tro, how you doing?
You know what Grandma Edna told me?
What did she tell you?
She told me that Callum Ritchie is going to score the first Michigan for the Islanders next season.
No, I told you that.
No, no, no. You have no proof. I have now predicted that Callum Ritchie will score the first Michigan for the Islanders next season.
That is a prediction that I made
No,
yesterday
there's no proof
off
of
stream.
it. There's no proof of it. And you want to know how long I've been waiting to say that?
You've
The
been waiting
moment
about. You've been waiting about
a day.
just a little less than 24 hours.
The moment the moment I ended the call, I put in my notes, Callum Ritchie. And all night I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see Frank's reaction when I tell him.
Anyway, that's my prediction. Tro
Nope.
trying to steal. Tro's
No.
trying to steal my prediction.
Look at Frank. He's trying to take credit for my genius. That
What if
fucking
it?
Josh Bailey lover.
What if it ends up happening tonight, where an Islander actually scores on a Michigan, which
You have a better
obviously
chance. You have a better chance of Connor McDavid doing it.
it won't be Callum Ritchie if it happens tonight.
It's
Obviously,
gonna be Tony D'Angelo on his
Tony.
own net.
Oh
He's gonna
my,
score an own goal. Score
yeah.
a Michigan. No, that's never been done before. Scoring a Michigan on yourself.
Oh my gosh. So my one of my biggest problems with the build up towards this pay per view, except for the fact that they're not building up some of the undercard title matches too well. My biggest issue is that this is our fifth weekly show, I think, in this row too, and four of the five weekly shows have started with matches instead of segments. That's including
Yeah.
this episode. By the way, the episode that we are going over, I have not even said yet, is the September 3rd, 2001 SmackDown, the first ever live SmackDown in SmackDown history. This is the first time SmackDown was ever live, first time it ever aired on the exact day that is taped, Tuesdays. Obviously, back then it was taped on Tuesdays.
Yep.
Um, and well, we have Stone Cold Steve Austin was just thrown in a freaking kiddie pool. Kurt Angle pretty much made a mockery out of him after Austin stole the gold medals. So Angle got his payback for that. We got Christian turning on Edge. We can start the show with something like that. We got Rock and Booker T obviously feuding over the WCW title. How are we going to start this show? You got a lot of potential segments to open up this show. Let's open up the fucking show with as random a fucking tag match as you can think of. The Hardy Boys versus Raven and Justin Credible.
You don't want to see. You don't want to see Just Incredible and Raven against the Hardy. This is a dream match. What are you talking about?
So anyway, September 3rd, 2001, or excuse me, September 4th, 2001 episode of SmackDown. We open it up with a recap of everything that had been going on with Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin. We see the whole thing with the pickup truck where they show it to Austin. Austin does the "I'm the king of the world," and
I'm the king of the world.
Kurt Angle comes from behind, hits him with the pipe, throws the brick in the truck, drives away, and then obviously everything that happened on the bridges. They show all that, and then we start the show with Kurt Angle backstage having a drink of water as Taz and Michael Cole are like, "Where this is a big episode. We're live on UPN and TSN." They have to bring up TSN because this show, just like yesterday's Raw, is in Toronto, Canada, and obviously, as they see Kurt Angle drinking water, they have the SmackDown Live on the side, the
And
upper corner on the TV. What were we gonna say?
I just looked up what was on TV on September 6th. I was trying to figure out if there was like a reason why they wouldn't be in their normal time slot. And no, nothing is. At 8 o'clock, you have whose line is it anyways? CBS had 48 hours. Fox had Guinness World Records. NBC was running a repeat of Friends.
Oh, nice. Which episode?
The one with Chandler's dad.
That's a good episode, but not one to move SmackDown to Tuesday though.
Well, here's the reason. It's because on UPN they had the Hurleys on.
The Hurleys kicking SmackDown off Thursday night.
Yeah, and then at 9 o'clock you have Girlfriends. Ooh,
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There's no new episodes really.
They're not even new episodes. They're just repeats.
No. I mean, even Gilmore Girls on WB is a repeat.
Oh wow! Well, there you go. So
there you go. Preempted for Guinness World Records book, I guess.
I think SmackDown. I think they just wanted to finally have a live SmackDown, and since they were in Toronto back-to-back nights, I guess this was what they chose. We're in Toronto. Let's do a live SmackDown.
Well, I'll tell you this: this SmackDown did not do good ratings for the time.
Well, when people tune in or like, this is the first live SmackDown, I wonder what's going to happen. And the first thing they fucking see is the Hardy Boys versus Justin Credible and Raven. I don't blame anybody for turning the show off.
Well, on at the same time was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on ABC, which got an 8.8. Jag, a repeat of Jag, on CBS got a 6.7.
What did the Friends replay do?
I'll have to go back to it, but SmackDown got a 3.4.
I looked that up today too because I'm sitting here like, how are we like people had to have been turning the show off. You're tuning into the first live SmackDown ever. It's like, we're gonna kick the show off with fucking Hardy Boys versus Raven.
So, hey, the Friends repeat got a 7.5. Then the 8:30 episode, the one where Rosita dies, got a 7.9. So SmackDown's being beaten by Friends reruns and Jag reruns. So,
and they're not even like, those are not even like popular unless I'm forgetting something.
I'm sure Jag was popular.
No, I mean like the Friends episodes were not like big, like, oh, they're playing that episode, we gotta watch that one. Like, it's not like some of the more popular episodes. I mean, Chandler's dad, that was kind of a funny episode because of the way they portrayed Chandler's dad, but it wasn't necessarily like one of the popular episodes. And the one where Rosita dies, I'm trying to remember what happened on that episode. But yeah, well, there you go. I mean, let's put yourself in 2001, and you're turning on SmackDown. It's a live SmackDown. The first thing you see is the Hardy Boys versus Raven and Justin Credible. You're telling me you're not going to change the channel?
Yeah.
So anyway, SmackDown, September 4th, 2001. All this good shit going on. Christian just turned on Edge. Austin and Angle are doing all the shit they're doing. But let's open the fucking show with the Hardys taking on Justin Credible and Raven. Oh my goodness. So Terry was in the corner of Raven and Justin Credible. And Jeff Hardy hits the Swanton. and gets the win in this match. And then after that, at the beginning of the match, as Lita was leaving the ring, Terry pushed her off of the apron and she fell down. So after that, the match, Terry gets in the ring, gets in the face of Matt, Jeff, and Lita hits her with a twist of fate. As random a damn tag match as you can get. What do you think of it?
It was stupidly random. It was. People saw this and said, "I'd rather watch Jax right now."
I mean, my goodness. This is the 5th show. Like I just said, this is the 5th show on the road to Unforgiven. And we have 4 of the 5 shows kicking off with a match. My goodness. Are you kidding me? But this show was much, much better than the second show that we reviewed, that first Smackdown. Much, much better than this one. So after the tag match, essentially this is how the show should have began. First off, we have Stone Cold and Deborah arriving in the arena, and Stone Cold just doesn't know if he'll be able to face the members of the Alliance after being humiliated on Raw. He enters the Alliance locker room, and nobody's looking him in the eye. Like, they're all looking away. Stacy Keibler's looking away, looking cute as hell. You got Ivory and Stacy and Stephanie McMahon in there as well. Again, who wouldn't want to be in the Alliance side back then? They had all the great women. But Austin demanded that everybody all pick their heads up and look at him. They did not. He asked them if what happened on Raw bothered them, then it shouldn't, because obviously the old Stone Cold would not have done this. He would have absolutely told Kurt Angle, go ahead and do it, because when I recover, I'll kick your ass. But the reason why he did what he did, the reason why he begged, and the reason why he cried was because he did it for each and every one of the people in that locker room, the Alliance. He did it for the Alliance. So they should be proud of what he did.
What a good man.
Yeah. And so let's see. He says, but he had taken the Alliance, and he says obviously he's taken the Alliance members under his own wing. So obviously he did that for them. Then Chavo Guerrero came in at the worst possible time, and Chavo says that he was late because there was traffic, and Stone Cold Steve Austin acting like one of the most strict bosses in the world says, well, everybody else got here. What's your excuse? And then he just beats the hell out of Chavo Guerrero. And that's the end of that segment. I thought this was a really good segment. This is part of how they started the show, how they should have started the show. What happened next should absolutely have followed that and being essentially the opening segment of the show, in-ring segment. But what do you think of this? I thought this was great. What do you think of this little segment here? Stone Cold, telling the Alliance he did it for them last week.
I thought it was smart for us. Like, oh yeah, well, I'm actually not a coward. I did it for you, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was good. It was often trying to save face.
Right. So right after this segment, and these were the first 2 things we should have seen after we saw Kurt Angle drinking water at the very beginning. Next thing, after the Austin segment, Christian comes down to the ring.
No.
And after just 24 hours after, we were getting Let's Go Christian chants in the WCW title match against, of all people, The Rock. The Toronto fans have turned on the hometown boy. They are booing Christian.
This is all Grandma Edna's fault.
Yeah, it's all Grandma Edna's fault, but also the biggest reason why Christian is obviously getting booed by his hometown fans is because he turned on another hometown boy, Edge, a very popular hometown boy in Edge.
If the fans just understood how bad Christian got treated by Grandma Edna,
Right.
they'd cheer him.
Right. I agree. I agree. Because this is all Grandma Edna, man. She is screwing up. She is the biggest heel going into Unforgiven. Grandma Edna, how dare you? But Christian comes out and he does exactly what the Alliance was doing on last night's Raw. He is pretty much mocking Canada, which he is a hometown boy, but he says he is very happy that he has moved to Florida now, where he now resides, and that he goes on to mock Canada, like I said, the same way the Alliance did last night by doing the A. He mocked the
Hey,
A. That was the thing. If you were a heel in 2001, you had to mock Canada by mocking the A.
well, how else are we gonna mock them? They're nice people, except for John Tavares. Fuck him.
I disagree with that, but okay. Christian said that
No.
it seemed like he's been living in denial lately. He said it. He said on Raw that all the talk is true. That Edge was bitter, jealous, and resentful of him his whole life. He said that
Yep.
it had always been E and C, Edge and Christian. Why does it always have to be Edge first? And he asked what Edge has ever done, and he said, "What about me?" Christian proclaimed that he was special. He said he had always been there for Edge, but where was Edge last night when Christian was getting a shot at the WCW title? He claimed that it would have eaten Edge up alive. It would have eaten Edge alive to see him walking around, see Christian walking around with singles gold, not just singles gold. This is the big gold. Edge at this point had never been a WWE or WCW champion. So,
WCW.
so according to Christian, him having the big gold would have eaten Edge up alive. And he says that Edge made him do it, but it would all come back. He says Edge and the people of Toronto deserve each other because they are all selfish. They're
I agree.
selfish, just like Grandma Edna.
Just like this, they say ANC stands for Edge and Christian. No, it was Edna and
And
Christian.
yeah. Christian said that he didn't need Edge for anything, not even a concerto, as he obviously provided on Raw. He did a one-man concerto. He said
That's how they
Edge,
do it now.
Edge had nothing he needed, nothing Christian needed, but Edge did have something that Christian wants, and what would that be?
Grandma Edna's love.
There, Grandma Edna. No, it's the Intercontinental Championship,
Yeah,
and Christian then challenges Edge to an Intercontinental title match at Unforgiven, saying that Christian would take the title the same way Edge always took the spotlight. And he said, just like their song, "I think I know you," but as Raw proved, Edge, you don't know Christian. This was a great segment. And this is where, after this segment, if you really want to do that random ass tag match, you have it right after the segment. Like,
or
why
just
does
have
it
it on
have?
on Heat.
It could have been a heat match. There you go. Yeah, why not?
I'm pretty sure it was. I was looking through like the. It was either the Heat on the following week after 9/11 or the Heat of 9 of the memorial show for 9/11. But
Yeah.
they have the Just Incredible, I think Taz team up against maybe the Hardys, some random ass team.
Random ass tag matches kicking off shows was a big
You know,
thing at this point.
my issue with the one man concerto is that it is plainly obvious majority of the time that they're not hitting the person's head and they're just
Right.
hitting the other side of the chair.
Right.
I mean, it looks good visually, unless they don't get the camera angle right, and then you just see, oh well, he's not even hitting his head; he's hitting He's hitting the other side of the chair.
This segment right here was really good. The way they were building this up, it was clear that this was the reasons why Christian was about to break up with his brother.
Yeah.
He explained it perfectly. He was obviously jealous, but also obviously he never mentioned Grandma Edna, but Grandma Edna clearly was the
Yeah.
biggest reason why they split.
She's actually the voice in You Think You Know Me.
But no, great, phenomenal segment. It should have kicked off the show right after Austin berating the Alliance and telling he did what he did last week for them. But yeah, what do you think of this segment so far? I mean, show just started, but
Yeah.
segment of the night, the way it looks. What do you think?
Oh, I thought it was great. Christian's not always that great on the mic. He's never been. I guess just the way he talks. He's not always the best on the mic. Maybe it's his accent,
Mhm.
slight accent. He has more of a Canadian accent than Edge does.
Yeah.
But I thought this promo was good. It gave the reasons to why he would turn on Edge, and what I think one of the things that makes a great heel is a heel who believes that they are in the right and is kind of they have merit to why they feel like they're in the right. You could
Right.
see from Edge from Christian's standpoint, you know what, he's right. It is Edge and Christian. He's always tends to be the second best.
Right. I agree. Uh, and the with just a few weeks, I think we're about 3 weeks away from the pay per view. The card is really starting to take shape. We have this. This is already one match. Although I don't even know if it was official. Christian kind of just laid the challenge down, so I
Yeah,
don't know if it's necessarily official yet. But we do have one match later on in the show that we pretty much knew they were building to, except for maybe one of the parts of the matches, and I'll explain that later. But we do get one of the main event matches announced later in this show. But yeah, that Christian segment, tremendous. Um,
and I don't want to spoil what's going to happen on our next episode, but this will be the last time that you hear Christian come out to Edge's theme.
Obviously, I mean, he just turned on him, so
Well, I'm saying they already have the theme mixed up.
yeah. Now
At
we have
last,
now we have Stone Cold and Deborah backstage talking when Sean Stasiak walks in, and well, Sean Stasiak still trying to get in the good graces of the leader of the alliance. He hands Austin a cup of coffee. Austin just looks over at Deborah and says, "If I really wanted coffee, I could have got Deborah to do it." But Austin still drinks the takes a sip of the coffee, and immediately something's wrong. And you can tell by the way he reacts. He's kind of feeling his lip. It clearly was a little too hot. And Austin just gets so angry he throws it in Sean Stasiak's face. Sean Stasiak just starts yelling. He's like, "Oh my gosh!" And he falls to the ground. And that is when Stone Cold tells Deborah, "Go get a paramedic." And Deborah's kind of looking over at Sean Stasiak. I think Deborah. I think Deborah says something, but you really can't hear her that well. But Austin's like, "No, I ain't talking about him." Him meaning Stasiak. "My lip is burning. Get a paramedic for my damn lip." His mouth. A really funny, more good comedy out of Sean Stasiak, although it's really Austin who kind of steals the segment with the "No, not the paramedic for him. My mouth is burning. You need a paramedic for me."
it's been a
Great.
tough week for Austin.
Absolutely, absolutely. But he did it for the Alliance. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
Yes, and he does it for the Alliance. And how does Sean Stasiak, a member of the Alliance, how does he repay him? A, a extremely hot cup of coffee. Do you know who told Sean Stasiak to give Austin that hot coffee?
I bet it was Grandma Edna.
There you go, Grandma Edna,
She's the mastermind of this whole alliance.
the biggest heel going into Unforgiven
You know,
2001.
Kurt Angle actually stopped at Grandma Edna's house to pick up the pool for Austin.
There you go. There you go. But no, I told you. Remember what I told you? You've never been to Toronto, right?
I know they have pools everywhere.
They no in at every road
Every
near
road.
every bridge on the road near every bridge, a little kiddie pool just randomly sits.
Yeah. Toronto Canadians are weird.
It's Bizarro World, folks. As
It's
JR
bizarre world.
Lawler decreed at SummerSlam '04.
Yeah, whenever the faces the heels get cheered, it's it's bizarre land. WrestleMania
See it.
22 in Chicago. It's bizarre land that they're cheering for Triple H and not John Cena.
So a hilarious segment there with Stone Cold and Sean Stasiak. Now we finally get a really good indication of what they are doing with the tag titles going into Unforgiven. Just a couple weeks ago, they were seemingly building towards Undertaker and Kane versus X Factor. Now all of a sudden, Steven Richards runs down on Raw the prior night to this show, super kicks Undertaker, and challenges him to a one-on-one match. And well, this is where that match takes place. Steven Richards comes out, essentially cuts a little promo on Undertaker. He says, let's see, he talks about why he challenged him to a match. He said many people thought he was crazy for doing so, but he had one thing to say to The Undertaker. He says, I hate you. He blamed Undertaker for disbanding the right to censor. And he says that although the people had no faith in Steven Richards, he has faith in himself. So he tells Undertaker to come out and come get some. And that is when The Undertaker comes out on his bike. Don't forget about the bike. The bike's there.
Obviously.
This is going to be a very important part. And Undertaker went right for Steven Richards. And that is when Steven Richards hightailed it right out of the ring, walked over to the timekeeper area, picked up a chair, and told Undertaker to come follow him. And that is when he ran up the ramp, he being Steven Richards, followed by The Undertaker. And Steven Richards made sure that Undertaker stayed just a few inches behind him just by waving the chair at Undertaker, just whiffing on the chair, and Undertaker just, pushing.
I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to be by a chair.
But that is when all of a sudden at the, we're getting like a camera angle from on the stage area facing the ring, and as it's facing the ring, you can tell that some big guy is walking by and is like standing right in front of the ring. So Michael Cole obviously says, "Who the hell is that?" Well, as we get closer to the ring, you see it's Brian Adams of Chronic, and right behind Brian Adams, as he stayed like right in the crowd, in like one of the first, second, or maybe third row, there's a big Chronic sign from a fan. So people who went to the show, clearly reading the dirt sheets, they know that Chronic was signed just yesterday. So the funniest part of this, though, Brian Adams comes in and immediately Michael Cole's like, that's Brian Adams of Chronic. But then all of a sudden somebody jumps Undertaker, and Michael Cole's like, who the hell is that? Well, I mean, Brian Adams of Chronic.
He doesn't know the other guy.
Obviously, this means X-Pac of X Factor just jumped in. He's like, who the hell is that? Obviously,
You know
go ahead.
what would have been even better is if Cole was like, "Oh my God, it's the Underfaker. He's back." What?
And
Or maybe I think it was. I think it was like also DOA or something.
yeah, Brian, that you are referring to Brian Clark, the other member
Uh,
of Chronic, who attacks Undertaker from behind, and Chronic just double teams Undertaker with Steven Richards directing traffic. They toss Undertaker into the ring and then gave him high times double choke slam. And there you go. We finally, unless there's another tag team that's possibly going to get signed at the time.
I mean, the Dudleys are the number one contenders, so
They
I
are.
think they should.
Yeah, that number one contender. Remember that number one contenders match last night on Raw?
Oh, I guess that counts for house shows.
Maybe it's for No Mercy. I don't remember who does Dudley
Yeah.
face at No Mercy. I don't know. But yeah, so unless a new tag team is about to get signed and WWE's just immediately going to be like, you know what, we forget about building Undertaker and Kane versus Chronic. We're going to build Undertaker and Kane versus the new tag team. Like they were clearly building towards Undertaker and Kane versus X Factor, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we can sign Chronic. Let's do that. Let's Undertaker and Kane versus Chronic. Like why not just go through with Undertaker and Kane versus X Factor and then have Undertaker and Kane versus Chronic at No Mercy? Why not? Have Chronic. Go ahead.
I'm looking at it now. That is a big ass Chronic sign.
It is.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the Toronto fans were definitely big dirt sheet readers. They knew Chronic had signed.
They're big. Yeah. I guess they're. This is about probably the only time Chronic's ever had a sign made for them.
So yeah, this was a good segment. Obviously, you're building towards finally the tag match that we are going to actually get at the pay-per-view. They're finally building the right tag match, even though the pay-per-view is freaking 2-3 weeks away. After all the poor X Factor, they thought they were going to get a big pay-per-view match with Undertaker and Kane, but nope. We
That's
signed.
why.
What?
That's why X-Pac joins the NWO in 2002.
So, what did you think of this segment here? The Chronic's WWE debut.
I like that we finally have a freaking a storyline for the titles. Now they just have to start fucking with Kane.
Yeah, I'm guessing Kane really was injured. They mentioned, obviously, what was it like last week's SmackDown? They mentioned that Kane was injured when
he was sick
Undertaker.
or something.
Yeah, he had some type of sick. We haven't really seen him that much in the build up to this pay per view.
Yeah, if I'm Kane, I'm like, oh, I don't really care that my brother's getting his ass kicked. He's a big boy. He can take care of himself.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need both members of a tag team to build up a tag team match. Because, I mean, Chronic just beat the shit out of Undertaker. So, obviously, at some point, Kane's going to come back and be like, you know what, we're going to take it to you guys. So, it makes sense.
Yeah, hindsight 2020, see what happens after Unforgiven.
Yeah.
It's probably best they didn't work together too much because they could have just stopped the match right before it even happened.
We will get to that tag match when we review Unforgiven 2001. We're probably not going to be reviewing a show tomorrow. Saturday is never a good day for us.
Oh.
But at some point, we will continue the road to Unforgiven. September. So the next Raw would be, so we got September, this Tuesday.
10th.
September. Oh, right. Yeah, the September.
Yeah. The big one.
Yeah. The most memorable cut to the world. And I think they showed the world too. I didn't pay attention if they had the right poster.
That would be crazy.
But when they cut to the world on September 10th, they do have the correct poster for the pay-per-view. If you saw yesterday's review, we reviewed the September 3rd SmackDown. Just a couple weeks to go for the pay-per-view, and 2 weeks after the SummerSlam pay-per-view, and yet the poster up at the World was the SummerSlam pay-per-view.
They're very proud of that poster.
It does have The Rock on it, but I mean the Unforgiven poster's got Austin, so you know.
Yeah, but here, I'll raise you this: SummerSlam had the bodies to the floor.
It's
as
a
its
poster.
theme.
It's the poster. Though. The theme isn't playing.
Well, what if it did?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just saying. I'm just saying. Imagine if posters just you touch the poster, the theme plays.
you would have to have some really good hops to be able to jump and touch that poster.
Oh well, it's 2001. I'm sure they can find a way. I want to listen to Bodies. I don't want to listen to whatever the theme for Unforgiven 01 was.
Well, there is an 8-man tag match later on in this show, and Bodies does play. So if you watch the show, you heard Bodies.
They licensed that
Which,
song and said we're gonna play it for the rest of this company's history.
well, I hope you did watch the show. I mean, this is the show we're reviewing right now, so I hope you
Yep.
did watch it. um, uh, oh yeah, so they actually do. I remember now. They actually do go to the world on this show, and I should have paid attention when they showed the poster. I really didn't, but they go inside the world for this one. Actually, where like not like obviously they always do go inside to interview somebody, but like the cameraman walks inside, and you actually see the inside of the world, like from the very like right as you walk in, and it brought back memories for me because I've told this story. I don't know if I've told it to you, but I've only been to the world once, and I wasn't even a fan yet. Sadly, I can't remember what year it was, but it may have been around this time because I swear when the cameraman walked in, you see a whole bunch of shirts piled up on a little shelf there, a little table, and like
And you see,
above the table is like cups, and like it looked exactly how I remembered it when I walked
man,
in.
if you look closely, you can probably see little Frank there. Like, the fuck is
No,
all this crap?
no, I was
You
not
saw
in there. I was not
you
in
saw
there.
Stacy Keebler and all the divas on the. You're like, ew, what the fuck? I don't care about these guys.
I mean, at that point, I was only about 7 years old. So no, not seven. I was
Yeah.
about 9. Yeah,
You're
probably
like, ew,
7.
girls are icky.
Stacy Keebler was legitimately my first crush, but that would be in like 2003. So
Oh boy, girls are making me feel all types of things now.
um we now move on to, let's see, where are we going on? Oh yeah, Deborah checking on Stone Cold's burnt tongue, and Stone Cold just wants nothing to do with it. Uh, she told Austin that she thought he should go to the ring and talk to the public. Austin said he already explained himself to the alliance. He does not want to talk to the people. Deborah reasoned that the people in the arena were foreign, and that is when Austin said he'll think about it. Just a funny. Oh wait, hold on. I actually missed something. Before that, we have William Regal in his office, and he's looking at the monitor, and that is when Booker T and Shane McMahon walk in and said, "While The Rock is under contract to WWE, the WCW title is under Shane McMahon's jurisdiction. So." If Shane McMahon wanted to arrest The Rock, he could, but William Regal couldn't. I guess that's what Shane
Yeah.
McMahon is saying. The WCW title is under Shane McMahon's jurisdiction. So because of that, Shane says that at Unforgiven, The Rock will defend the WCW title against Booker T and Shane McMahon in a handicap match. And that's where William Regal says, a bloody handicap match. And well, Shane's like, there's nothing you can do about it. And then that is when we get the Stone Cold and Deborah segment right after that. But like I said, we had the announcement of a big main event match on this show, and everybody knew it pretty much was coming except for one part of the match. What I meant by that was didn't think that it'd be a handicap match, but it makes sense the way they're building it because Shane McMahon has been heavily involved with the build to Unforgiven here. But what do you think about both segments here?
I like how we finally now have we finally have the freaking confirmation of The Rock and Rock versus Booker T and Shane McMahon.
Yes.
Took him a little while, and I'm kind of surprised that Shane's like, oh yeah, no, I'll totally wrestle The Rock.
At least they've been building it, though. They have been
Yeah,
building it up. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
Shane
that,
wrestled a lot in 2001,
yeah.
so I thought it was fine. We're getting built.
And what about Austin and Deborah?
I mean, Austin, heel comedy Austin
Yes.
is great because he doesn't. He seems like he doesn't give a shit.
I love how Austin changed his mind or started thinking about changing his mind when Deborah pointed out the fact that the crowd is the public is foreigners.
Yeah.
Although all of us in the United States were able to watch the show on UPN, like we're gonna totally ignore that. But no, I love that. Like,
UPN.
oh, they're foreigners. Who cares about them? I'll go. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Yeah, both of those were good segments. Obviously, I mean, not much to say truly about the Regal
Yeah.
Rock and Shane part because that's just announcing one of the main event matches. But Austin and Deborah was great. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got on that. So now Test takes on Billy Gunn, the one Billy Gunn. And
He's here.
speaking of Test, I believe yesterday marked the anniversary of his passing. Actually, I feel like, yeah, I think that might be right. I think yesterday marked the anniversary of his passing in 2009. So rest in peace to Test, obviously. Um, but yeah, so we get Test and Billy Gunn going one on one, and this match ends where Billy Gunn goes for a Faymaster, but Test moves out of the way, gets the big boot, and gets the pin on Billy Gunn. Uh, not really much to say about this match, but what do you think? Test first, Billy Gunn. How you feeling about
Where the hell has Billy Gunn been this whole time?
it? Yeah.
My God. Hi guys, I'm Billy Gunn. Remember when I used to do stuff? Remember when I used to be in the main event?
Remember
They
when I won?
fired Road Dogg. Now I'm here.
Well, that was the worst thing that happened to Billy Gunn, firing Road Dogg.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Road Dogg wasn't teaming with him when he got fired. He was teaming with Gay Quick.
With K Quick, yeah, he was. But still, what were they doing with Billy Gunn when
Did
Road Dogg was teaming with K Quick?
I think they were just waiting for Chuck Palumbo to come in and be like, "Oh well, here's Billy and Chuck.
At
There
this
you
point,
go.
Chuck Palumbo's there. Chuck
Why
Palumbo's
aren't they
there.
teaming?"
Yeah, well, that could have had Billy Gunn uh, go to the Alliance, turn on them, go to the Alliance, and have Billy and Chuck debut right there, and that could have been great for some the baby faces just to get over on the Alliance. Could be like, look at these two. This is the Alliance. How look at you got these two fruitcakes. Not that but that's the type of shit they did back then.
It
Not
it
that
is crazy to think that within a year of this, in 2002, this guy's getting married to Chuck Palumbo around this time.
Now hold on a minute. It was all a publicity stunt.
We're not actually gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Ain't gay. Eric Bischoff's
Eric
fucking makeup.
yeah.
That was some amazing makeup.
Oh man.
It goes
One
in my therapy. 5 minutes, 5 days, 3 minutes.
wait
Wait
a
a
minute.
minute. Did I just hear myself say 3 minutes?
Oh man, you are giving me a future road to idea, man. Let me tell you
If
something.
we,
I love Unforgiven O2. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views ever. But we while we have not announced any road twos, because I said we're not going to do that until we
yeah,
get through this one. Uh, we have some lined up that we have not announced. So Road to Unforgiven O2 sometime in the future. But I'll tell you what, after we get through some of the ones we have planned, that's going to be one that I'm definitely going to bring up.
I
Road
swear,
to
if you make me watch your fucking segment with the lesbians,
What the hell was so wrong with that segment? What was so
they
wrong with
called
that?
them the lesbians.
Besides that,
That's their
what the
name.
hell was so,
That's their
besides that,
name.
what the hell was so wrong with that?
You got Rikishi and Drag.
That was at Unforgiven. That didn't have anything to do with.
I would still have to watch it.
That was a funny segment though. Eric Bischoff got his comeuppance there. That was funny.
Oh yes, that totally repays Stephanie get fucking Samoan dropped by you by Jamal or Rosie.
Oh yeah. See, 3 minute warning needed to get jumped after that. By the way, rest in peace to both of them though. But after they did what they did to Stephanie, they need to get jumped. That
Yeah,
was at the
it's
wedding. That was at the wedding segment. Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's crazy how Rosie can Samoan drop Stephanie McMahon, and then once Jamal gets sent down to OVW and he becomes a superhero, he's perfectly okay now.
Yeah. Unforgiven 02. I fucking love that show, man. So that's a future road too. I can tell you the build up to that show. And I can't remember it all off the top of my head, but the build up to that one was much better than the build up to 01. I can tell you that we are currently going through.
What's the first show we have to watch has a 6-man tag to open up the Raw Freeze Raw? Somehow it's the Hardys again. Hardys again against
they bring back Raven and Justin Credible.
We know, hey folks, we're talking to some guy in the future named Frank. We know that you're doing a road 2 on the YouTube, so we're putting this match together just for you.
Oh boy, that you have a great JR impersonation. I'll give you that.
Boom boom.
There's somebody else you do really good too. I forgot. Oh yeah, Paul Bearer, obviously.
Oh yes. How could you forget about Paul Bearer, Frank?
If Paul Bearer was still alive, what would he say about the upcoming Buffy revival on Hulu?
Oh, Buffy! Oh, hallelujah! I've prayed for times like these.
Yeah, we get good news on that, and then we get horrible news. But I'm still happy about the Buffy revival, even though we now know somebody who I literally when they announced that revival, and you can even check my Twitter because my X account because somebody tagged me on X. It was like, hey, look. And the first thing I said was, I hope to God that Michelle Trachtenberg and Charisma Carpenter will be in the revival. And literally just 2 weeks later, we lose Michelle. But for some reason, that's the thing. We get good news and we get bad news because back when Shannon Doherty passed away, she literally passed away like right after announcing that she was going to join the House of Hallowell podcast, which is a Charmed rewatch podcast with actual cast members of the show. It was like, we have Shannon Doherty essentially back on Charmed. She's going to talk about the show. She pretty much not done this since leaving the show. And then she literally passed away like only a few days later. So good news. Go ahead.
Is the podcast anything like the Ned's the Disclassified podcast, where they just talk about them having sex as adults and they're drug addicting and how they desperately want another show?
Absolutely not. It is nowhere near that. I never watched Ned's Declassified, so I don't really follow that podcast. But that podcast seems to always be in the news. And they were in the news again recently because like they all were fighting each other or something on the podcast, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
They talk too much. They talk too much about their sex life. I'm like, I don't really care.
And they were like fucking kids when they were doing this show, weren't they? Or like
yeah, but they're more talking about like their as when they became adults and they were dating each other, and then it was like, oh,
yeah, but yeah,
none of them really have careers post that show. Not everyone can be Miley Cyrus.
Well, there you go. I guess so. So now we have Stone Cold again backstage with Deborah after Billy Gunn versus Tess, and Stone Cold or Deborah tells Stone Cold that he should go to the ring and explain. And this time Austin says, "You know what? You're right. I'm gonna go out there." So now as you see in the thumbnail, Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out and cuts a promo. And well, first, as he's going to the stage, he's walking up the stage. He grew a little reluctant and started heading backstage. But then he just came right back out and headed to the ring. And again, like you've said, at this point, Austin is so he's so out of it. He's so how do you say it?
Deranged.
Yeah, he's so deranged, and this is just part of that. He's for some odd reason he's scared to talk to the fans.
I'm very I have a problem public speaking here. I'm afraid. Stop looking at me.
Well, it kind of makes sense why he would be because of what happened last week. I mean, he was crying, he was begging Kurt Angle, but as he said, he did that for the alliance. So why is he?
Yeah.
Why doesn't he want to talk to the crowd when he did it for the talk to the public when he did all that for the alliance? What's all
He's
these
a
guys
part of
say?
he's a part of these foreigners. He can't help it.
Yeah, these damn foreigners, man. So let's see here. So he comes back and he essentially just jaws with a couple of fans. And then he says the only reason he's out there at this point is because that the people on hand are just a bunch of foreigners. I don't think Austin made fun of the A. I think Austin probably recognized like everybody's doing this at this point. I did it first, then Stephanie literally did it right after that. Obviously, it's Stephanie's joke because she does it. Doesn't matter who did it first. It's literally Stephanie's joke. So Austin stole Stephanie's joke. Christian stole Stephanie's joke at the beginning of the show. Austin realizes at this point, we're not going to do that no more. It's been done to death in these last two shows. So Austin just says a bunch of foreigners on hand who don't matter to him. And there you go. That is why once Deborah said they're foreigners, Austin said, you know what, I'll think about it. They don't matter to Austin.
Yeah.
Austin said he couldn't believe how bloodthirsty the people of Canada were last night and how Kurt Angle was about to throw him off a bridge. All thanks to Grandma Edna, obviously.
Yeah.
He accused the people of not respecting him or Deborah, and he says that he himself does not respect the Canadian race. Austin asked the people if they wanted to see him throw. So Austin says, "See, I could have asked you all if you want to see Kurt Angle throw Stone Cold off a bridge. Give me a hell yeah!" And they immediately said, "Hell yeah!" And then just Austin went off the what? He just started going what as they're saying hell yeah.
Is
what?
This the start of it?
He'd been doing what pretty much from the time we started this road too. So I can't remember when it actually started, but this definitely had to be around that time. But this is not the exact. This is not the exact night.
The start of the worst chant in professional wrestling.
Oh my gosh, the worst chant! Come on now, come on.
What?
Is it annoying?
What?
Is it annoying? Yes. Have you heard some of today's chants?
The worst we get is "We are awesome."
No, that's part of it. That robotic.
They don't. If you're gonna say this is all, if you're gonna say this is wrestling, they don't chant "This is wrestling" anymore. They haven't in years.
No. I'm talking about this is any of the "this is" chants.
This is awesome. I can understand.
No, that's so robotic. And imagine if today's if the William Regal with Shane McMahon and Booker T, Shane McMahon talking about this is not your jurisdiction, this is mine. People today would be chanting at the not just Shane and Booker T, they'd be chanting at the whole alliance. You don't go here.
No, they wouldn't.
You don't go here.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
They wouldn't. They don't chant that. What are you getting this information that they chant this?
Did you watch? Did you watch that NXT show from a couple of years ago when
Well, that's years ago. That's
it's
free
still
everything.
part of it. That's still part of today's crappy ass robotic chants of "This is awesome, this is awesome." That's way worse than the fucking what chant. But
The what
it's
chant
part of
still
the
stays, and it's. I wish we were still all doing the yes chant. The yes chant was great.
the
I'm gonna,
yes chant. The yes chant was so popular. It was, but at that time in the Attitude Era, so was the what chant. They were both
yeah, that then
very
it carried over, and it became
yeah.
stupidly annoying whenever a foreigner wrestler or a guy we don't like. What? Shut up.
It is an annoying chant, but I can put up with it compared to some of the chants in recent years.
Well, you know what the new chant
Those
for Booker T
robot.
is
But
oh come, we're coming for you. Hogan, we're coming for you. Hogan, we're
do
coming
they
for
really? They really chant that when Booker T?
to Booker, when Booker T comes out.
They actually do that?
Yeah, Booker T, Hogan, we're coming for you. Hogan, we're coming for you.
Again, that's another robotic ass chant. It's so ridiculous. This
It's
is
only for
awesome.
oh yes, how dare those fucking fans showing emotion, showing their appreciation for the match.
Oh
You
my
know what they
god!
should all do? They should all sit on their hands at
No,
like at baseball games. Obviously, this is how you're supposed to enjoy baseball games and give it good
let me tell you
match,
something. Let me tell you
good
something.
match.
We just went over the last show where they had the WrestleMania 18 press conference. They were showing their emotion at WrestleMania 18 for that Hogan Rock match. They weren't going, "This is awesome.
That wasn't
This
chant.
is awesome."
If the chant was around back then, I swear they
The
would
chant,
chant "This is awesome."
the chant wasn't around back then because the people who actually watched the product back then would not even do a
Well,
dumb chant.
obviously, instead they just say they just call everyone the F word and chant slut at random at random women.
That's an ECW thing. Those
They
that's an
chanted slut at Stephanie McMahon
they
WWF.
did it. They did. They did. She's like the one person. That's some W. That's some ECW. That started with ECW, which I will say, robotic chants kind of started with ECW because ECW. Like they're all
Well,
started.
you can't chant WWE. That doesn't sound as cool as good as ECW.
Well, but
You
again,
can't even,
the people that were watching WWE in the Attitude Era wouldn't chant that anyway. I'm telling you.
they just show their tits and call everyone the F word. Anywhere so they don't like, oh, you're an F word. Like, okay,
Yeah.
cool,
Well,
awesome. Awesome
they
time we're living
actually
in here. This all
they
started because of a
actually
fucking what chant.
they actually stayed invested in the match
Yeah, they do that now too.
instead of sitting there going, "This is awesome." No, they're not invested in the match. They're sitting there looking at the cool moves, going, "This is awesome." That's not being invested in a match.
Would you rather? Do you want us all to jump up and down the whole 25-minute match?
No, I wouldn't expect people to jump up
Do
and
you?
down.
When I go to WrestleMania, I'll be like, all of you people, you are saying this is awesome. Ooh, this is not awesome. This is professional wrestling. How dare you? How and then when everyone's eating with Jey Uso, that son of a bitch. How dare Jey Uso get over with the crowd
Hey, he's
organically
over, but
with a chant?
that's
What
the
a
same thing.
bastard!
That's the same thing with the what. Austin got the what over. So what's the problem there? That's just as annoying as the what. I
Yeah, but
think they
everyone's not
yes,
saying heat after every promo though. They
it's
only say it
still
during Jey Uso's
it's
promos.
one of the dumbest things ever. But of all the chants that wrestlers have got over, the yes chant is probably the coolest because it is
Yeah,
such a good like
but
yes yes.
we might be biased. we're, we're a little biased because we
How
use it for the Islanders.
oh! I was about to say, how the hell are we biased? If I was gonna be biased towards any chant, I'd be biased towards Austin. But
Yeah,
no,
I'm
you're
saying
right because
we're a little biased.
yeah,
We do it. We
because
hear it
yeah.
every day, every game. So
But I wasn't even thinking of that though. I was thinking just as a wrestling chant. It's not it doesn't really get all that annoying in my opinion. Like what chant definitely gets annoying because you just keep on saying what. In
yeah,
real life, in real life, if you actually did that to somebody, they'd get annoyed, and probably if you do it to the wrong person, they'll punch you in the mouth.
What? Well, my favorite
That
one
is
wrestler is like, I think that was Miz. He was like, "What? You all sound like a fucking geese."
yeah.
What?
And the Yeet thing is just stupid, in my opinion. I'm not.
It's
Look, he got it. He got
he's
it over.
over.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, he got it over. Good for him.
Somehow him going got
Well,
over.
I can go out, put me out there in the ring today, and I'll say something stupid, and it'll get over. That's pro wrestling fans today.
And then I'll come
Just
on the mic and
make up.
I'll say he liked WCW in the year 2000. they'll start booing you.
But they'll still do the chant. All you got to do is make up some dumbass word, and today's pro wrestling fans will eat it up.
Hudson.
And I'm telling you, if today's fans were doing in the invasion angle, they would always look at the Alliance guys and go, "You don't go here.
They don't say
You
that.
don't go here." Yes, they did. I just told you a couple of years ago in NXT.
That was
They
just a
did it to
random
show.
NXT. That's the Full Sail crowd. Those people were idiots.
They're literally
Half the
the
time.
same type of fans. They're literally the same type of fans. Robotic chants. That's today's pro wrestling. We're the fans, at least. I can't blame the wrestlers, except for Yeet. Obviously, they made that.
He's
shit.
making money.
He is making money.
He's main eventing a WrestleMania.
Again, good for
Maybe.
him. Like I said, he got it over, but it's the dumbest thing. You can say any dumbass word and it'll get over with.
Well,
with
you know
pro
what?
wrestling
What
fans.
is dumb in modern wrestling is that people get over by just singing their songs. Because
That kind of started
with
with Fandango. I think that started with Fandango.
that started with that New Jersey crowd. And if you want to get, you probably hate that New Jersey crowd because they're like,
Yeah.
we are awesome.
Yeah, that New Jersey. I remember that night. They were chanting.
Yeah.
That was one of the after the WrestleManias after
29.
Well, that would be 29. Yeah, I remember that night very well.
The night professional wrestling died for you.
No, not for me. I was way done with wrestling at that point. Even though I was still watching, so I can't say I was done, but I wasn't enjoying it.
Those fans doing the Mexican wave and chanting "We are awesome." You shed a tear because you knew professional wrestling was dead.
But at that time, they were already doing shit like that. It's just the crowd. That crowd did it all night because it was the night after WrestleMania, and they felt like, oh, we don't like the product, so we're gonna hijack.
They weren't even. It wasn't even they didn't like the product. They liked the product. They were just chanting and having fun.
No, but that's for the most part. After that, maybe they like the show, but after that became big, that was kind of the internet thing. Like, we don't like the show, so we're gonna go to the show and hijack it.
Hey, hijacking the show has now produced 2 great WrestleMania moments. We got Daniel Bryan as WWE champion, and we had Kofi Kingston as WWE champion.
Yeah, that's the only type of storyline they can do nowadays. The feel-good storyline. This guy's an underdog, so if
Cody Rhodes was no underdog, he needed to finish his story.
Yeah, that's I got to finish my story.
Yes, how dare this man want to finish the story that his father started?
That's the only story they can do nowadays. Wins and losses, fake wins and losses.
Except for John Cena's now heel, and he's gonna have an absolutely dark segment on Monday when he destroys R-Truth.
Oh, I've been seeing R-Truth's X account too. Yeah, he hates the fact.
Oh, it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be brutal on Monday. They're gonna have John Cena come out and probably just kill the poor guy.
And then Triple H is gonna come out. John, what are you doing? It's your best friend, R-Truth. Open him up.
And you're taking it easy.
You're taking it easy on your best friend. Open him up.
And R-Truth was like, man, I used to be NWA champion. I used to be a serious character in TNA. And now I'm getting my ass kicked.
And you know what? How many people talk about TNA R-Truth, and how many people talk about the entertaining guy R-Truth?
Well, actually, a lot of people do. There's actually a decent amount of people who do talk about that R-Truth because they're like, oh man, like when we talk about modern R-Truth, they're like, oh yeah, he's really good. But remember how good NWA heel Truth was? It's kind of like you're seeing the dynamic of his character. Like he can be funny, he can be entertaining. That's
Oh
easy
yeah,
for him.
yeah, right.
But he also loves being a heel because he's so good at it.
Yeah.
But he can't be a heel anymore because he makes too much money and his character right now just does not fit for a heel.
I love I love weekly pay per view TNA, but like you said, he makes too much money. Way more popular. That the character of
Yeah.
R-Truth right now is way more popular.
I think he
And
is pretty entertaining. Modern R-Truth.
yeah, yeah,
At
he is.
times.
He is absolutely. Some of those I mean it did get kind of old, but at one point
Yeah.
whenever you had him coming into like a match and he thinks it's a different match, like he'll walk into a Royal Rumble with a ladder trying to win Money in the Bank. That's kind of funny.
I remember when he made Brock Lesnar laugh because
Yeah.
he was entering, and that's where I was like, "I'm going to throw you over the top rope, Paul Heyman."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm going to undeclare for the Royal Rumble." Once he found out Brock was in it.
Making Brock laugh is not easy. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Too
mean
bad.
that just shows you how good he is.
Too bad we're not seeing that guy anytime soon. He's
Brock?
over in OV. Yeah, Brock. He's in
Oh, you're
OVW
talking
now.
about right. You're talking about right
Yeah.
now. 2001, he's in
Yeah.
OVW. Yeah.
It's in
Well,
OVW.
spoiler alert. I'm not gonna reveal it, but spoiler alert. Unless I change my mind on what I currently am going to pick as the next Road to, we're most likely going to see Brock Lesnar in the next Road to.
Oh, sweet. We're gonna get a Road to WrestleMania 29. Sweet. Brock Lesnar.
He's already perma banned anyway for all the times he brought up Super Bowl 41, but he's perma banned again. But we still have a show to get to, so
Damn. So I'm now just learning the things that get me permabanned. So bringing up the Road to WrestleMania 29, which
Not just it's
involved
anything post 2005.
so the first episode of Monday Night Raw in 2006, no good.
Road to
Road to the last show of 2005. Road to Frank no longer wanting to do the show.
Where the hell are we? Where the
We
hell
can
are
always do an NFL Road to. We can do Road to Super Bowl 41. And just watch all the Colts and Bears games from there.
He's perma banned. And by the way, the Bears only played the Colts once that year. That Super Bowl was the only time we played them that year. You're saying every game from each
Yeah.
team. Oh, okay.
Yeah. We just watch every game between for the Bears and the.
Although I will say, there are some really good games from. I mean, we will watch They Are Who We Thought They
Oh
Were.
yeah.
Classic game.
I looked at the ratings for Super Bowl 41 compared to 42, and I just want to say we beat you by one.
Is that the new thing now? So if play NFL ratings makes you a better team. Yeah, no.
That's just how it goes. We're the demo kings
9-time NFL.
of the Super. Yeah, but how'd you do in the
NFL.
ratings? How'd you do in the ratings, though?
Don't care. 9-time NFL champions.
The Giants outdrew you. What can I say? Eli
Yeah.
Manning drew more eyes to the product than anybody else.
You do realize that if we're really going to go into how big the ratings were, you do realize people were watching to see if the Patriots were going to go perfect.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little guy by the name of Eli Manning and Flexible Burris and David Tyree said, no, not today.
People weren't watching to see them. They were watching to see Brady.
They were watching to see if the 1970 something Dolphins turned to
72.
dust. 72 Dolphins. I thought it was 72. I didn't want to say it was wrong. The 72 Dolphins turned to dust because once another team goes perfect, they start to fade away like the honky tonk man has.
They had 2 different commercials for that Super Bowl, and depending on who would win, they would show the 72 Dolphins either being like, "Yeah, thank you, Giants," or "Damn it, we're no longer perfect," or "We're no longer the only perfect."
It's like in Avengers Endgame when everyone turns to dust. You start 72 Dolphins start to see themselves fade away. Like, no. That's what happened to Honky Tonk Man. That's why you don't see him around anymore.
Oh,
once he was no longer the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, he stopped being relevant.
He's done some shoot interviews for RF Video.
Well, yeah, once he's paid and drunk. Oh, I hate this guy. I hate that guy. I hate this guy. I hate that guy.
Yeah.
Please notice me.
So we have ventured off in this Stone Cold.
This all started from the What Chant, by the way.
It did.
See what happens when we start talking about the What Chant? Shit gets real. We talk about Super Bowls. We have an argument.
So as the fans are, what the hell were they even cheering?
They were chanting, "This is awesome."
Hell yeah! No, they were chanting. They gave Austin a hell yeah because he said they wanted to see him thrown off a bridge by Angle. So every time they said hell yeah,
this was probably the first time we've had a hell yeah in a long time. So
it's true because
it's been building up.
He's been a heel.
Yeah.
It's the first hell yeah since Invasion. How about that?
He's been waiting. You're like, give me a hell. Oh my god, hell yeah, finally.
So as the crowd's chanting hell yeah, we get what? Hell yeah, what? Hell yeah, what? Repeatedly before Austin tells Kurt Angle that he refused to be treated like an animal. And he says, as far as Kurt Angle's concerned, Unforgiven is a good name for this pay-per-view because he will never forgive Kurt Angle for what he did. He went on record as saying that at Unforgiven, he would not be chained down, blindfolded, tied down, or beaten for the Federation Championship. And that is when the plane hit the towers, and all of a sudden, Austin was
dude,
for the
yeah, I mean, Austin like, oh, I'm definitely not losing. 9/11 happens. Oh fuck, damn it. But I watched a video like what Austin had. Austin does the does the tribute show for 9/11, and then he plays with the crowd like, oh, Wilder I hate is a smart ass Wilder, and he takes his truck because they were Houston down to Dallas, and he had just like think a long time. And I'm like, damn son, I'm gonna lose the title. Lee Lawrence is gonna be mad at me. Deborah's gonna be pissed off.
I'm facing the American hero going into a pay-per-view right after
in his
American
hometown
tragedy. In his hometown, yeah.
Right He's after like, American damn Bin Laden. I wanted to keep my damn title. Why you have to attack him now?
That's your No Mercy pay-per-view main event. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bin Laden.
You think you're special? I have to beat you, Bin Laden. I have to beat you more than I've ever needed to beat somebody before.
And on that note, for the third day in a row, you got to tell everybody why you're the number one fan.
Oh, look at this.
Daniel Jones fan club. Number one member. The only member of the Daniel Jones fan club. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Colts legend, by the way. Okay. So, top 10 reasons why Daniel Jones is better than any Bear quarterback ever. No, yeah. There it is. You know what's as good as that, though? Hold on.
So dangerous. He went to
no one see that.
Comes up in his Steph Brown's crew. They're all here to see the Colts of Indianapolis with Super Bowl 41.
Oh, man, what happened there? Super Bowl 41. Oh, damn. oh, shit. Let's see what this is Super Bowl 42. I just finally.
Put 1 second back on the scoreboard. And no was a play. The Giants have won the Super Bowl.
Oh, no. Did we win the Super Bowl? Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, man. Crazy. Crazy how that happens.
I wanted to kick off to Devin Hester and send a message that we weren't afraid of him.
Vinatieri on the approach platform, happening here in Miami.
I did stand up for the kickoff because I wanted to see those Cameron flash balls. I always, seen that. I wanted to be a part of that, watch that. So I'm kind of watching that. I don't even see the ball, land in Hester's hands. Kind of watching, let's see where, 20, 30 yard, 40, 50, oh no, 40. He's seeing him, he's gone.
Touchdown Bears!
Yeah, who cares?
Well, like I said, he's permabanned. I don't know what happened, but I guess StreamYard pretty much recognized that he was permabanned, so they knocked him off. But anyway, we still got to cover the show here. So
Yeah, Grandma Edna strikes again.
what the hell happened? You got booted by...
Well, you know what? I think it's because they played this audio.
I heard some type of audio, yeah.
Yeah, some type of audio. I think it was this that got me permabanned. So if I get permabanned again, not my fault.
Secretary staff, janitorial staff, grounds crew, they're all here to see the Colts.
He's permabanned. But we still got a show to do, so,
Oh, crazy. Crazy how that happens. I definitely did not play the sound of the Colts beating you and then immediately put the sound of us winning the Super Bowl afterwards.
I swear I was not in the room when you first played that. I heard some type of audio coming from my headphones, but I did not boot you from the streamer. I don't know how the hell that happened.
It must have been Grandma Edna.
No, your internet was acting up again, right? And you just fell out of
the AI, the StreamYard's AI, you've trained it so well that I started talking shit about the Colt. I'm at the Bears. It kicked me out.
Well, there you go. Well, we've been covering this Austin promo for about 30 minutes here.
It's a what a promo by Austin. We've been talking about him for 30 fucking minutes.
So he says he won't be chained down, he won't be blindfolded, he won't be tied down, he won't be beaten for the Federation Championship. And then that is when Kurt Angle came on to the stage and he says that your Olympic hero does not care if Austin forgave him. And this is where we get into this really funny. Well, obviously the pay-per-view is named Unforgiven. Austin doesn't forgive Kurt Angle for what happened last week or on last night, really. And Kurt Angle says that he does not forgive Austin for stealing his medals and throwing them into the ocean. Great building. I mean, the show's called Unforgiven. The main event, neither guys forgive each other. That's how you build a pay-per-view, man.
I wish they had more shows, more promos about the names of the pay-per-view. Like, imagine, I will SummerSlam you at SummerSlam.
At
I will at WrestleMania. I will WrestleMania.
At
I will
Royal
show-
Rumble. At Royal Rumble, I will royally kick your rumble. Or I don't know.
It will be
royally
Armageddon
rumble
for you.
Well, that was done. That's definitely done.
Yeah. I will. It'll be a series if you survive this. You're. What else? Yeah, No Mercy is easy. Vengeance is easy.
Yeah, I will get vengeance on you. How about fully loaded? I'll be fully loaded when I kick your ass.
Fully drunk. It'll be an ECW one night stand. Me kicking your... Oh, here's going. It'll be Great Balls of Fire when I'm done with you.
Oh my gosh.
I know Vince McMahon tried to make Backlash work once.
Well, Backlash has been a thing for a long time now.
I'm saying like I'll get Backlash. Pay-per-view is an appropriate name because it'll be Backlash for you, Randy Orton.
No Way Out's an easy one. Judgment Day is an easy one. What about Great American? Well, I'll bash you at the Great American Bash. That's actually easy too.
I will bash you at the Great American. I will get my vengeance at you against you at Vengeance, Night of Champions. There will be extreme rules at Extreme Rules.
At Over the Edge, I will throw you over the edge.
No, oh no! I don't think people want to be thrown over the edge at Over the Edge there, Frank.
No, yeah, I know, because
you walked right into that one.
No, I knew as I was saying that. I was thinking of it, but it makes sense if you're building through a pay-per-view called Over the Edge. I will break you down at Breakdown.
I will beat you. I will degenerate you at Degeneration.
I will be in your house at In Your House.
You better beware of the dog because I'll be in your house. Beware of dog.
Oh my gosh. Bulldog main evented that pay-per-view. That's why it's called Beware of Dog, right?
Yeah, and then they had a hurricane. Or they got hit by a storm. And it's like, Beware of Dog 2.
Yeah, Beware of Dog 2.
Now Austin loses. This is the alternative timeline where Austin loses.
Austin had to wrestle a strap match in the dark, and we're wondering why all these years later now.
It starts to come. I had to wrestle strap match. I had to lose. I beat Saudi one night, and then I lost him the next night. What the fuck's up with that?
You know why the lights went out at Beware of Dog, right?
Grandma Edna.
That's right. Damn Grandma Edna. So Kurt Angle comes out and he says he will hold on. He says he doesn't care that Austin will never forgive him because he will never forgive Austin for throwing his gold medals off the bridge. He said that while Austin didn't forgive, he didn't want Austin to ever forget. And he then played the
Oh boy.
footage from Raw of Austin begging. Stone Cold then says he wasn't really begging and that he didn't really mean it. So Kurt's like, well, let's see this footage. And now we see Austin crying, to which Austin obviously says he wasn't crying. And then Angle asked him if he was the rattlesnake or the waddle snake. Okay.
Ironic that Kurt says, "Never forgive and never forget." Uh,
It's unforgiven. You
yeah,
can't forgive. You can't forgive.
yeah,
You don't.
yeah. I mean, never forget.
Oh yeah,
Got
he
a
did
week.
say he said never for.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
yeah,
yeah, there you go. Uh, Kurt then
no.
Kurt then asked one more question: what Austin was doing when he fell into the kiddie pool. Austin said he had so much fun with Stone Cold on Raw, seeing sides of Austin that he had never seen before. And then Angle says that at Unforgiven, Austin would see a side of Angle that would make Austin wish he had never messed with Kurt Angle. Angle then promises to show Austin how stone cold he can be, he being Angle, at Unforgiven. Really good segment right there. I would still pick Christian segment as the segment of the night at this point. But what did you think of Austin's promo and then everything with Angle afterwards?
I mean, it was good. I mean, it's an Austin Angle promo, so
Yeah,
it's always going to deliver. And Austin's still trying to like save face, like, oh well, it wasn't that bad,
right,
you foreigners. And Kurt's like, oh no, it actually was that bad.
right.
But he's like, even though I got my payback on you, I'm still pissed off at you for what you did to my medal.
Exactly. And yeah, so we've joked about the build up to this pay per view because it really could have been better, but there are some matches that they're really hitting on, and obviously this is one of them. They're really doing a great job building up this main event. They're doing a decent job building up Rock versus Booker T and Shane McMahon. They're doing a good job with Perry Saturn, although Perry Saturn is not on the show tonight. So,
Zero out of 10, no Perry Saturn.
yeah, no Perry Saturn. They're not building, but still they're doing a good job of that slow build as to they reveal who stole Moppy. Um, what else do we got on there? Oh yeah, Edge and Christian. Obviously, they're doing a phenomenal job with that build up. The thing is, there's a hardcore title match on this pay per view. RVD versus Chris Jericho. That's legitimately got no build. The fact that they're on the other side of a couple tag matches and Jericho gets the pinfall on RVD on one of them, that's all the build we've gotten to that. Tajiri versus Rhino has gotten absolutely no build. And I know these are like undercard matches, but as I've always said, when it comes to the Attitude Era, you get build on everything. Everything had a storyline back then. And for the most part, during the Ruthless Aggression era, there would be some shows where you'd get like build up on matches you wouldn't expect, like the build up for Jamie Noble versus Billy Gunn at Vengeance 03 was tremendous. SmackDown in 2003, they just were not missing whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that I grew up on that. But yeah, the Jamie Noble Billy Gunn match. Oh my gosh, if this was on Unforgiven 2001, it would have no build. It really would. They did not care about this pay-per-view outside of the main events.
Yeah.
And they really, like I said, it seemed like they didn't care about the pay-per-view at all because, like I said, on the last Raw, they cut to the World, and what's the poster at the World? SummerSlam poster. So, the 3-week-old pay-per-view. But yeah, great segment with Austin and Angle. And now we have, let's see, where are we going to now? The Alliance talking in their locker room. That is when Stone Cold entered. He says he has been. Oh, this is how the video package to the match here begins too, where Austin says, "I've been embarrassed and humiliated for the last time by Kurt Angle." WWE always did phenomenal jobs with pay-per-view match video packages, and yeah, that line there by Austin is how they kicked off the video package for that. He said that seeing the footage again made him sick. Austin said he did not want to wait for Unforgiven. He wanted to whip some ass tonight on SmackDown. So he just goes around the Alliance locker room being like, who wants it? You want you? Do you want it? And they're obviously all backing down. It's like, do you want it? Do you want it? And then the crowd, the Canadian crowd, had their who they wanted. As this segment is going down, they start chanting RVD, 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 and that is when Stone Cold says, "You know what? The next person to walk through that door will get an ass whooping tonight from the Rattlesnake." Obviously, it's going to be an Alliance guy. Why would a WWE guy walk through the door? And by process of elimination, if you look at everybody, you go back to the very first segment where right after that tag match that for some damn reason kicked off the show, Austin's going through the Alliance. He's berating everybody. There were some notable faces in there. There was one face that was noticeably empty in that, or I should say that was noticeably not there, as Austin saying the next guy that walks through the door will get an ass whooping, and that guy was the crowd. They were the guy the crowd was chanting for, RVD.
RVD.
So by process of elimination, he's going to be the first guy to walk through the door, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? Guess who was the first person to walk through the door?
Deborah.
Nope. Grandma Edna.
God
and
damn.
That's your main event for SmackDown tonight. Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on Grandma Edna. No, nobody walks through the door yet. That's how the segment ends. Austin saying, next person that walks through the door will face, I will kick their ass tonight on SmackDown. And as the segment essentially ends with the Alliance guys getting all pumped up, like, yeah, you're going to kick their ass. So that was a good segment again. Austin just having a horrible time ever since last night. And he's going to take it out on an Alliance member, apparently. Somebody's going to walk through that door. It's the Alliance locker room. So you got to think it's going to be somebody in the Alliance. So now, this is a very, very memorable Rock interview segment. It's Lillian Garcia interviewing The Rock. And she asked him about Unforgiven, obviously. They just announced that Booker T and Shane McMahon will be taking on The Rock at Unforgiven. And obviously, this is a Rock interview segment. And just because Lillian Garcia is a woman doesn't mean that she is exempt from being mocked by The Rock. She's an interviewer. Yeah. She has to be mocked by The Rock. So The Rock mocks Lillian by saying she needed to let her feelings go. He says that he knows that Lillian has had feelings for him. He says, obviously, Lillian has dreamed of becoming Miss. This was funny. Dreamed of becoming Miss Lillian Rock Sia. If Rock and Lillian Garcia got married, I don't think that would be Lillian's name, but okay. He said for Lillian to admit that she gets wet. That's when the crowd goes, whoa! And then Rock says, with perspiration, standing so close to The Rock. He says he knew how Lillian felt about pie, but he then asked her how she felt about strudel. Rock asks if she wanted to try some of Rock's strudel, and then that is when Lillian said she would love nothing more, or it was hold on a minute. She says that she would uh she would more than anything in the world. She says more than anything in the world, Rock. And that's where the segment kind of turns funny, like, oh my gosh, wait, what? And then Rock says, what in the blue hell is wrong with you? He says he has just been informed that he has a handicap match at Unforgiven defending his WCW title, and all Lillian can think about was dessert. And then Rock asks her for a little professionalism, just a little professionalism from Lillian. Rock then turns his attention to Booker T and Shane, and he says he's seen the way that Booker looks at Shane. Or excuse me, he sees the way that Booker and Shane look at each other. He said the two should have a baby together. Don't know if that don't know if that's physically possible, but okay, Rock. He said that the two should have a baby together, and the first word out of the kid's mouth would be, "Can you dig it, sucker?" And then he mocks Shane's dance. He says that, so that would be the first thing that the baby does is say, "Can you dig it, sucker?" And then do the Shane McMahon dance. He says that Unforgiven would be electrifying if you smell what the Rock. And then he looks at Lillian and says, "Stop thinking about the people's strudel," and then is cooking. And now we have the Alliance in the locker room. Austin and the Alliance await the next person that walks through the door. And Rob Van Dam. Well, first, Austin opens the door, and it's Rob Van Dam. And the crowd is chanting, RVD, RVD. And well, Austin just says to the Alliance, or Austin says to RVD, excuse me, that the Alliance has something to tell him. And RVD's like, he's acting like he's high, which he may have been. He's like, what? Well, hey, Deborah, as Deborah walks out with Rock, Van Dam's like, hey, Deborah. He's like, well, okay, that's cool, whatever. What do you guys want to tell me?
Cool,
And,
whatever, man.
Yeah, and that's how the segment ends there. So we got 3 segments right there. All the first part of the Austin, where Austin says, you know, whoever comes out for whoever walks through the door next will get an ass whooping. You have Rock and Lillian Garcia, and you have the second part of the Austin segment. The Austin segment is really good. This is where you get the beginning of the RVD's getting popular, and WWE sees that. So here we go. Let's have RVD face the biggest heel in the company, even though RVD is obviously a part of the Alliance. RVD is a heel himself, but let's see if RVD's worth being a top babyface in the company. So that was a good segment, both of those parts of those segments. And then Rock and Lillian Garcia, pure comedy, great segment. Yeah. One of Rock's most memorable interview segments. But what do you think about these segments here?
I thought both Austin segments were great.
Yeah.
Austin really wanted to let out the anger, so he doesn't even care who the next person is who comes to the door. So
right.
He's trying to save face of like, oh, well, I'm still kind of a badass. I'll fight anybody.
Yeah.
So, and then the Rock promo is, it's just the Rock. It's the Rock on the mic in 2001. It's golden.
Right. Absolutely. So now we have Hurricane come to the ring. He says he tells the citizens of Toronto that he pities them. And well, again, Hurricane never does a. He never makes fun of the A. I think at some point one of the writers just sat there and said, "Okay, stop with the A thing. We've done that to death." But he says that the reason why Hurricane pities the citizens of Toronto is that although they had Vince Carter, they did not have a superhero. Ooh. So, Underdog's not Canadian?
I don't think so.
Spider-Man's not Canadian?
No, he's New York.
What about Superman? He's not Canadian?
Wolverine's kind of Canadian.
Okay, well there you go. Well, to me, Trish Stratus is Canadian. She's a superhero in my book. So they got her.
Eh.
What do you mean, Aunt?
Oh, what about Jose Batista? He's a hero.
The last man to hit a walk-off grand slam for the Mets. So I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
At this point though, Toronto did not have Jose Batista. So
the Pirates did.
I don't even know if he was in the Pirate. Maybe he was in the Pirates organization at this time, but I'm not even 100% sure about that.
They have John Tavares. He's a superhero.
They didn't have John Tavares in 2001 though. Well, technically he's Canadian, yes. So
yeah.
technically,
They have Sean Bates. They get to watch Sean Bates score in them. That's pretty superhero.
In a couple of months, yes.
Yeah. That's
season
pretty heroic, I think.
That season, as we mentioned yesterday, that season has not begun yet. But
the NFL season's getting ready to start, though.
Yes, there is no Canadian NFL team.
Defending champions, the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady kid, he's starting for the Patriots. I wonder how that's going to happen.
Great year for the Bears. Mike Brown becomes the first and to this day only man to have back-to-back walk-off interception pick sixes. Nobody's ever done that in the history of the NFL. And that 2001 Bears, Mike Brown, the only man to do it. 13-3. 13-3 when nobody expected them to do anything. Rest in peace.
I'm pretty sure
Dick Duran, but go ahead.
I'm pretty sure this is the season where the Giants lose to the 49ers in horrible fashion in the playoffs.
Wasn't that like 03?
Maybe. But I thought we sucked in 03 so we could get Eli in 04.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. My Giant history starts from when we win Super Bowls and then goes on. Now I can do that.
So Hurricane said they don't have a superhero, even though they have Vince Carter. He said that earlier in the evening he had issued a. Oh, that's true. Vince Carter does get traded to the Nets in a couple of years.
Let's go.
How'd that work out for you guys, though?
As well as the Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden did.
He issued a super. He didn't issue an open challenge. He issued a super open challenge to anyone who wanted to step up and challenge Hurricane for the European Championship. And guess who came out?
King, it's Paul White.
Nope. Grandma Edna.
God damn
it. No, yes, Paul White came out, big show, and Hurricane told Citizen Show that he admired his courage and his valor, and that this was going to hurt him being Hurricane, a lot more than it was going to hurt Big Show. And Big Show pretty much proved them right. As Hurricane brings out the hand, getting ready to do the handshake. Big Show obliges, but then squeezes down on the hand. But at one point, as Big Show has the advantage, Lance Storm comes in, attacks Big Show, ending the bout in a DQ. But it didn't end well for Hurricane and Lance Storm, as they both took a double choke slam. Obviously, the match itself, not much to talk about. The promo from Hurricane was great, and obviously you're building up to the four-team elimination tag match, which Lance Storm obviously teaming with Hurricane. That's why Lance Storm ran in for Hurricane. And Big Show, as we saw last night, Big Show will be teaming with Tajiri. So not much to say about the match. The promo was entertaining, and then obviously the run-in, we're building up towards the pay-per-view. What do you think about everything that went on there?
I think Hurricane's great.
Absolutely.
I forget, and it's probably around this time he has a segment with the APA where he does something to piss them off, and I think Bradshaw's like, "Stand back! There's an ass kicking coming through."
Did he walk through the invisible wall? He didn't knock on the.
Either
He
that,
didn't.
or I think he like stole their table or something.
Hopefully, that
Oh,
will be in the build to Unforgiven, and we can talk about it. We'll
maybe.
see. I really don't know. I can't even remember that segment that you're referring to. But that's the thing. As much as I love this time period so much, a lot of these shows I haven't watched in a long time. So that's the fun thing about doing these reviews, man. Even
I
though
can't believe you don't remember.
I've watched these shows a million times, but some of them I haven't watched in a long time. So some stuff gets forgotten about. What was I gonna say now? Shit, I was gonna say something and I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, you said Hurricane was great, which I agree, but Hurricane became even greater once he got his amazing amazing sidekick, Super Stacy.
You mean
That's
Super?
that,
You mean
that's
Mighty
my
Molly?
no. This is long after Mighty Molly. I'm talking about
Uh,
Super Stacy. That's the real
I think
superhero.
I think he was the best. He was at his best when he lost the Hurricane gimmick and he said, "I'm gonna be Gregory Haynes."
Greatest
Beat
Titantron,
it, beat,
greatest
beat.
Titantron video of all time.
That's a reference to the first episode I was in.
That's true. Yeah,
I made the Gregory Holmes joke.
that episode is still raising up in views, man. It's coming up towards 400 views.
I can't believe they really want to watch the first episode where Christian leaves halfway through it, and we have to talk about it. We have
Did
to
he
talk about the
leave?
show.
Did he leave Royal
Yeah,
Rumble, or did he leave? Did he leave New Year's Revolution?
he left New Year's Revolution because I think he joined right after we just got done talking about the bra and panties lingerie battle royal.
Yeah, he didn't leave Rumble. I think he was there for the whole Rumble 06.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my first show was New Year's Revolution.
Oh, yeah. See, and I always forget about that. Damn it, I always get mixed up. So
Yeah,
your second
yeah,
show is crawling up to like 400 views at this point.
yeah. Kind of a
So
random show for the like.
some people saw New Year's Revolution 06 review and was like, they got this new guy. True, you got to see him. And then everybody saw him and was like, what the fuck? I ain't watching this guy no more.
Yeah, not since Lex Luger, not since Hulk Hogan joined WCW has someone joining something in progress change everything.
For one show, your second show is like the best show we've ever done in terms of views.
Yeah, and it's probably the show that I'm like, here's an Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio joke. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, you did make that was the first big joke. You are the guy to go to
I'm
for
the
the
comedic maestro.
hilarious. Yes, and oh my gosh, don't bring that thing back up. I know what you're referring to. Let's not talk about that anymore. But you are the guy who makes the funny stuff, and the Eddie Guerrero thing was the first time that Eddie Guerrero Rey Mysterio thing. That was the first really good joke.
And
you made.
I was so apprehensive to say it. I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go over. You son of a bitch.
He was so apprehensive to make a joke about Rey Mysterio saying, son of you, Eddie Guerrero, you son of a bitch. And now like here we are, probably a year later, maybe close to 2 years later, and well, let's just make 9/11.
Yeah.
Let's make 9/11.
We've come so far. We're now. It started off with being apprehensive to make Eddie Guerrero jokes. Here's some 9/11 jokes.
This is literally the reason why you picked this road too. Like, oh, I'm gonna laugh about
it's a hell of a road.
The biggest tragedy in both of our lives. You were much younger though, but still, yeah.
It was my first day of preschool.
Wow. We're like, I'm gonna pick this road too, so we can make fun of the biggest tragedy in Earth. You've definitely grown since that first episode, since that second episode.
It's like picking a professional wrestling show in 1941 and it culminating at Pearl Harbor. This Japanese person kept on attacking this American wrestler from behind. Uh-oh, that's ominous.
Oh my gosh. What was I gonna say now? Oh man! Right before you said that, I was gonna say something. I totally forgot again. You
Well,
keep making
time's a ticking.
you keep making me forget what I was gonna say. But anyway,
It's 12:50.
yes, I know. So 8-man tag match. Again, it's the invasion angle, so we have to do random ass WWE versus the Alliance 8-man tag matches. So who do we got in this? Rock, Jericho, and the APA against Booker, Rhino, the Dudley Boys. And let's see. Rhino gores Jericho, and Booker T picks up the win over Jericho. Again, just another 8-man tag match, not much to really talk about. But what did you think of this 8-man tag match here?
I thought it was fine.
Okay,
It's just another generic tag team match, basically.
pretty much, and we've done a lot of those in the build up
Yeah.
to this pay per view. Inside WWF New York, like I talked about earlier, they showed they had the cameraman walk in there, and the reason why, again, got to have somebody on the show at the World just be like, hey, remember him? He's still here, and this time it's Hardcore Holly as he's greeting the fans, and Michael Cole, who's also. Or Michael Cole would actually be on commentary. He wasn't there. Michael Cole asked Holly how he has been doing, and Hardcore says he was in the best shape of his career, but he hadn't been on TV much lately. The Alliance hadn't challenged him. He said that he had helped stop the Alliance from taking over the WWE, and he said he wasn't any bigger, but he said he would accept any challenge from the Alliance. He said he would show why he's the big shot. I'm not the biggest hardcore Holly fan in the world, but that was okay. You got anything to say about that segment there?
They were promoting I think they were getting ready to promote what's called Tough Enough 2, right?
Maybe. They didn't bring it up at this segment, not that I remember.
But it's cool to see Hardcore Holly.
Yes.
Somewhat.
Yeah. So Stone Cold is pacing backstage when RVD enters the locker room. Austin said tonight Van Dam's name was Kurt Angle. RVD says, all right, cool, but I'm not really Kurt Angle. He robbed Van Dam. And then that's when Van Dam leaves, and an enraged Rattlesnake screams at Deborah that Van Dam was Kurt Angle. A funny little segment there, and let me just bring them back. So, what did you think of that quick little? Again, deranged Austin just going crazy. He is Kurt Angle. He's not RVD. That was funny.
He puts his fingers up his ass and says, RVD? No, it's just Kurt Angle.
So now we have the main event. Stone Cold Steve Austin of the Alliance taking on Rob Van Dam of the Alliance. Again, Chris Jericho is nowhere to be found in this match, but yeah, that's who RVD faces at the pay-per-view. So this was a really good match here. Definitely the match of the night. Let's see what happens here. Austin. Oh, so what happens is at one point, Kurt Angle's music hits. Austin actually had RVD in the ankle lock at this point. Kurt Angle's music comes on. Austin got up to look for Angle, but RVD snuck up from behind him, and big upset. And that's when Kurt Angle comes out to laugh at Stone Cold Steve Austin as we go off the air. So again, I would say that's the match of the night. Great way to end the show with Angle getting one over on Austin once again. To me, the segment of the night is easily Christian telling us why he turned on Edge. Great segment. It's cool to see a guy like Christian get, such a big promo opportunity there. But what do you think of the main event here, Austin and Rob Van Dam, and then Angle essentially costing Austin and then mocking him afterwards?
I will say, like right before the match starts, they cut to Cole and Taz,
Mhm.
and Taz is like, "Sign up for Tough Enough Season 2 on MTV."
Yeah. Oh, so
Which
that's
is
where
weird.
they start. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Gotcha.
they were. I guess the Tough Enough did so well at this point.
Oh, of course. It was a great show.
Yeah, I forget who won Season 2. Isn't it like 2 men or 2 women?
Season 2 would be Matt Capatinelli and John Morrison, right?
I don't think Morrison won.
He did. He won with Matt Capat. I butchered the dude's last name. May he rest in peace. I don't know how to say his last name
I think
completely.
Capitelli's Season 3 because that's when
Capitelli.
Hardcore Holly comes in Season 3, and that's when Capitelli
Okay.
gets his ass kicked.
Okay, so Capitelli was season 3. That would mean Morrison was season 3 as well. They both won. I'm telling you, they both won.
Yeah,
But season 2, who would be
shows how
season?
much shows how much of an impact this must have had.
I love Tough Enough. I've watched like all the episodes of those first 3 seasons, but I can't even remember who won season 2. Oh no, Linda Miles and Nydia.
The big no, Nydia
Linda.
won Season 1 with
Oh right, no.
Maven,
It was Linda Miles and
the girl who becomes Shaniqua.
well, that's Linda Miles.
Uh, hmm.
Oh man, I can see her, Linda Miles, holding up her Tough Enough right now. I can't remember who was next to her.
There's
Hold
2
on,
girls, so
I'm
it
gonna
would have
look
been
it up.
Linda
Right.
Miles and someone else.
That's why I thought Nydia because it was 2 girls. Oh, Jackie Gator. Jackie Gator.
Jackie,
Yes, there you go. Linda Miles and
yeah.
Jackie Gator. Yes.
Well, neither of them did too much for WWE.
Shaniqua was pretty good with the Bashams, though. I will
Yeah, I
say
mean,
that.
it was a good stopgap for the Bashams until they joined JBL.
The cabinet, yeah, the JBL's cabinet. That was great. I do
I think
remember. No Way Out was '04. Was the first pay per
yeah,
view I ever seen live, not in person, but live on pay per view. And Shaniqua lost. It was a handicap match. It was Too Cool, although they were not called Too Cool at this point. But Rikishi and Scotty taking on the Bashams and Shaniqua, and Shaniqua took a bonsai drop, and that was it. She's
yeah.
never seen.
I was about to say. I think you watched her last her last
I
time she
did,
was on
yeah.
TV.
It wasn't the last time she was on TV though, because I recorded SmackDown the very next night, and they obviously show promotions for the upcoming show, which is UPN 9 News. And there's a segment where Shaniqua shows off all the. She's like at a fucking retail store, and she's showing the clothes. She's like showing you how to look good going while you're watching SmackDown, something like that. I have the whole promo for the commercial, and like they literally, for some reason, during the main event of that show, which was Eddie versus Chavo for the undisputed title, they just like how we have the subscribe here thing rolling on the bottom, they had that rolling on the bottom. Like, don't forget to watch UPN 9 News, where WWE Diva Shaniqua shows you all the great things to wear, like how to look good fashion wise for while you're watching SmackDown.
Does she receive a phone call mid segment telling her that she?
I don't think I've ever watched the actual segment in question.
She gets Shaniqua, you're fired.
It's Johnny Ace on the other line. The UPN guys
Yeah.
like
Oh, if it's Johnny,
some guy calling
if it,
himself Johnny Ace would like to talk to you.
oh God, if it's Johnny Ace, Shaniqua, I can't jerk off to you. You're
Oh
too
my
big,
gosh. Oh my.
so you're fired.
Oh no.
I don't like big black women. You just don't really bring me up. So you're fired.
We can add that to another great impersonation by Tro. Tro is our Bruce Pritchard. He does the good impersonations. Although I think Bruce Pritchard does a much better Johnny Ace than you do. I
Well, he's
will
been
say.
around Johnny Ace long enough.
That's true. Yeah, he knows Johnny Ace so well.
I
But
mean, my Johnny Ace is just pretty much just Rich. It's just that voice. It's like when I do Stephen Richards, like, "I'll show you. You'll see."
that does
It's pretty much
sound
the
like
same.
Johnny Ace.
Yeah.
Johnny Ace being Stephen Richards. But anyway, so thoughts on the main event and what followed after that? Because you just went off about
Yeah, yeah.
before the match they
Started off
promoted
with Tough Enough. Yeah. It was a fine main event. I mean,
yeah.
RVD is pretty damn good.
So overall, out of 10, I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go exactly what I had for last night's show. 9 out of 10. It's a really good show.
I will give this a 7 out of 10.
We are wet. That now we're going like 2. Like
Yeah.
yesterday was 9 and 8, and now it's 9 and 7. We're way so segment of the night, match of the night for you. Do you have any choices?
So segment night is the Christian promo.
I agree. Match. I think there's no other choice.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So we're in
The
agreement. We're in
yeah.
agreement for segment and match of the night. Okay. So September 10th, we have reached it. We will be going to that.
The end is here.
We will be getting through that maybe Monday, St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, happy St. Patrick's Day. Here's the last 9/11 episode.
The anniversary of WrestleMania 18, which is funny because that's the show that they did the press conference for in one of the episodes
Yeah.
that we're doing this road to. And, well, we're going to do the September 10th on Monday. Maybe.
That's awfully early for WrestleMania.
For the press conference?
No, just in general. Have it on March 17th.
You are, my gosh, you are so younger than me. Just like, because
I'm used to it being in April. Okay.
Yeah, when I was a kid, like WrestleMania would always be in March. Always be in March. Except, WrestleMania 2000 was like April 2nd, but yeah.
But I mean, WrestleMania 20 was pretty early in March, but
March 14th today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because of something with the Blue Jays, maybe.
I cannot believe that WrestleMania 20 today is now older than WrestleMania was at WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania 20 is now 21 years old. I can't believe that.
It's going Hollywood.
That is that's when John Cena said he was going to main event the year prior on Sunday Night Heat, and then he ended up opening the card. He was just off by 2 years because main evented 21, obviously.
Technically he main evented, but really Batista main evented.
True, but he was undisputed title match, so he was
He was in the middle of the card.
So obviously we got September 10th Raw coming up next. Maybe Monday, which would be the anniversary of WrestleMania 18. And like I said, at the end of the month we have Mets season preview. At the beginning of April we have the March recap for the Islanders.
Oh yeah.
Well.
Woohoo!
Any final thoughts on the September 4th SmackDown, the first live SmackDown in SmackDown history?
We're live, pal. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. And Grandma Edna,
fuck you, Grandma Edna. Thank God they're leaving Bizarro Land.
And on that note, screw Grandma Edna, and we will see you maybe on Monday.